Tariq's in jail. Tariq is in jail, y'all. Damn it. The episode opens with Zeke heading to the precinct to turn himself in, but they turned him away with new developments of Ramirez's body that Kane went to go get the episode before. I'm not gonna hold y'all. In this episode, I kind of hope that Kamal Tate didn't do his job so damn well. He started reading Jabari's book and is putting two and two together very quickly, and that's something that we learned at the top of this episode. Detective Whitman could really take some lessons in doing his damn job or halfway decent police work, but he got his head so far up his own ass right now that ain't gonna be likely. Monet calls Dante to meet up at the bar, and this is one of the most mature and beautiful conversations of a man who just wants his woman that I have seen in a while. Ciao. This dude is pressure. He is applying pressure. He literally is pressure personified. And I love this from Monet. Trust funds for all your kids, girl. A life of love and freedom. Financial security. Girl, you better take that helping hand. It's looking a hell of a lot better than what you currently have. And it's the I'm not leaving New York until you leave with me for me. Dang, Dante is dope. Why you gotta have a split personality in Mecca? Golly. Professor Milgram is by far the person that I hate the most in this episode, and I guess I kind of sit on the fence with her because I be rooting for her, but then also feel like she's kind of dumb, but then I be rooting for her again. And in this episode, I'm just bewildered because Monet calls her and lets her know that Zeke is off the hook. She don't want to hear from her no more. Leave Zeke alone. So she don't need to continue down this rabbit hole of helping anybody figure out who killed Jabari. And I guess, okay, girl, you really did love Jabari. You hurt, yada, yada, yada. But it's the manipulation and all this bullshit with this wire for me. Professor Milgram comes into class and makes a point of redirecting the conversation, talking about karma, and specifically saying karma means you cannot escape your sins no matter how fast or far you run, they will always catch up to you. And she directs this to Tariq. And this is after Detective Whitman and Detective Tate ask her to read Jabari's novel and provide some type of information or what she thinks it could be, if it could lead to something. So before she even talks to them, she has class, and then this is how I think that this is where this attitude shift comes from with her. And it's like, okay, cool, sis, you mad, but I'm gonna need you to calm it down because you got some karma coming towards you. And something in my spirit, something in my soul tells me that Professor Milgram is responsible for a body or two. It just has not come out yet. She used to be in law enforcement. She's shady as hell. She's over sexual as hell. Like, sis, you have some skeletons too. So like, let's not be looking in Tariq's direction talking about everything catches up to you, because what is finna catch up with you? You've been wiggling, worming, and squirming trying to get out of this hole you slept with Zeke bullshit. Is that coming back for you? Oh, all right. Professor Milgram was in rare form in this episode. She was manipulative, vengeful, focused, and fake as she don't care about Lauren. But these soft tones and this secretive talk will lead you to believe so. And it is her initial thought that Tariq is the boy in the book, or the subject of Jabari's book, that is the driving force for a lot of what Kamal is suspecting and then able to confirm. And it's Milgram who actually convinces Lauren to take the upgraded wire, which they can listen to live, and then Lauren, unbeknownst to her, really walked Tariq into incriminating himself. Like, Professor Milgram, girl, I just want to run you these hands because you ain't even have to do all that. Like, she ain't have to help them. She ain't have to, like, she could have just sat there and been thankful that she made it out of her sex scandal and she still got her life. And I'm hoping that Lauren feels a way about how she been played and is coming back for that, but that's like a big hope and a wish. Monet tasked Tariq with finding out Kane's connect, and Kane finding out what Tariq's weaknesses is, all in the name of both of them winning her trust back. It's the mad grabs for sustained power or control that you never even had to begin with for me. Watching Monet in the last few episodes has kind of felt like watching a hamster in a wheel, or in like a little habitat that's like doing whatever within this container, thinking that they are like the boss of the world, but they're literally only in this container. Girl, just give it up, honey. Just give it up. The conversation with Brayden, Lauren, and Lorenzo was the first nail in Tariq's coffin in this episode. And shout out to Lorenzo Jr. Like, not you using your whole government name because you're trying to pull Tariq's girl, Kane. Like, what is that about? Lauren literally is setting traps and digging up holes that Tariq is like falling into. Like, literally just laying landmines, and they just keep blowing up all in his face. She reveals to Kane how Tariq is looking for an apartment, extra information that he don't need to know. Like, she's the one who's carrying this freaking live wire and is talking to Tariq about this book that ultimately gives the final information that they need to be able to search his room. If your downfall was a person, it would be Lauren. I have been wondering what Tariq wants this entire season, because it's clear to me that he's not 100% into the life, but he's also not 100% sure that he wants to get out of the life. And in this episode, it becomes rock solid what his driving force is. He wants to hold on to his family, or whatever family that he has left, by any means necessary, because he definitely feels the guilt of being the one to basically dismantle his family, from killing his father to sending his mother away in witness protection to being the reason why Rainey died. Now he is holding on and fighting for Yaz with everything that he has, and I think that that is his ultimate driving force. But in this episode, that is going to take a back seat to him now being in pursuit of his freedom. And the craziest thing about it is, it's like, yo, you're in jail for doing it because you actually did it, but the way that they actually found out or connected you to it is a lie. And that's the part that just got me conflicted, because yes, he did it, y'all, but I want him up out of this jail. Let me know in the comments section if y'all want him up out of this jail too, because it's giving stress, it's giving free my man Tariq, it's giving Ghost 2.0, and we kind of loving it but also stressed out by it. Tariq, before he actually makes it to jail in this episode, hits Diana up for product outside of Monet, and it seems real promising until Diana goes to Kane and then lays all of her cards out there, like knowing that he switched the product for sugar. And it is how Kane responds to her in this moment. It's just like, yo, Woody is like really great. Like, Woody is a phenomenal actor. He is definitely giving Big Brother vibes. It's the whole putting Negroes under pressure with your fake news. Like, yo, you know she not lying. You know she done figured you out, but you still trying to keep the lie alive. Keep the lie alive. I love. I honestly love Kane's interactions with everybody. Even his interactions with Lauren, while it was unfortunate, it was definitely interesting to see Kane played that part. His interactions with Diana is definitely giving Big Brother who up to no good. His interactions with Monet in this episode, where he actually checks her, calls her out for being the problem, and him realizing like, yo, Tariq was never even really the problem. It was you got everything messed up, and ultimately saying what he been wanting to say. Like, while it's been fine for him to play this role of soldier, he doesn't actually feel like her son, and he calls her out on like, yo, am I your son or am I your soldier? And she says both, and he like, well, what kind of mother does that make you? Because at what point do you care about him as a person? And I'm just trying to figure out, at what point do you care about him like you care about your son Zeke? I wait, because Zeke is the only one who's been protected of your children, who actually has a dream and is able to allowed to go for that dream. Now, while Lauren is adding value, right, like, she not completely useless. I've been looking at her the past 2 episodes like, yo, Tariq, don't do this. Like, I get that you need to get whatever off, bro, but leave this girl where she at. But she did provide value in this episode. She let Tariq use her car, so we don't see dude running around New York. We see her, give her brother's apartment so that Tariq have a place to stay. She is showing that she's in this and she's trying to be down. But the problem with Lauren is that she is a civilian, a naive one at that. So ultimately, all of the value, the love, and the support that she's bringing, it ain't even worth how she inadvertently sets him up to go to jail, having him incriminate himself on this wire, tying him to Jabari's book, clearing Brayden of their suspicions, because he literally says that Brayden doesn't know Jabari, he only knew him through him. She literally gets everything that the police need to build a solid case against Tariq from him in his moment of weakness and appreciation for this apartment, and her helping him get his sister back or being a part of that process. And I hate that for him. On a side note, I'm gonna need Tariq to learn how to fight, because while he is following Kane, trying to get information, trying to figure out who the connect is, Nuff winds up beating his ass outside of Mecca's house. And this is something else that I hate for him, like beating him. Like, he beat him like he stole something. And shout out to, Mecca for going ahead and just ending Nuff, because inadvertently you got him back for Tariq, and I appreciate that. However, in jail, Tariq, I'm gonna need you to learn how to fight, bro. That's the one thing that, like, I need you to figure out what Ghost did to get his conniving, cunning, and his fight skills up, because you ain't got it, bro. And speaking specifically about this fight scene and what actually happens, like, after it, I'm gonna need Kane to watch himself, because this chef is clearly not just a chef, and he's also not stupid. Far from it, in fact. Why did Kane lie to Mecca? Why did Kane lie and say that he did not know Tariq? Now, in the moment, yes, I guess it got him out of the sticky situation, but I honestly believe that Mecca knows who Tariq is, because Mecca followed Kane to meet up with Tariq and Brayden. So all he gotta do is review the tape and be like, oh, that's that same boy, and you said that you ain't know him. And honestly, y'all, it's given what it gave when Tariq boldface lied to Monet. And there's consequences for what? This lying. And speaking of consequences, one thing that Monet said that stuck out to me in this episode is that she told Tariq that he never thinks that his consequences for his actions are going to come back on him. And in that moment, she's trying to rob him of the opportunity to actually get the custody back of Yaz. And then Tariq just completely starts to let the juice loose. Like, he has nothing else left to hold or to keep these secrets for, right? Like, the ultimate thing that he wants, and this is in this moment, I actually realized, like, yo, this is really what Tariq wants, because he's willing to out everybody for a chance to get out of this car and go get his sister. But he literally says, Diana stole the money out your bar, Kane should get the coke, and Drew is still banging Everett. Your turn, sis. Monet hit that unlock button like, boy, if you don't get out of my car before I gotta kill you and all my kids. Now, Tariq does win custody of Yaz, only to be met back on campus with the police and a whole perp walk, because Kamal found Ramirez's badge right where Kane left it in the last episode in Tariq's desk drawer. Though Monet let Tariq go, she didn't give him his phone back, so Brayden couldn't have warned him for what he was walking into. And shout out to the creators for using the same song that was used when Ghost was arrested in season 3 of Power. This series is great, and this episode was masterfully done. Tariq is even sitting in the jail cell looking like Ghost was, with his gray suit on, no tie and all. The parallels were immaculate and drive home exactly how much Tariq is like Jamie, and how we are watching Ghost reincarnate right before our eyes. Now, the subtle plot twist was the letter that Ghost had set up to be delivered to Tariq when and if he was ever arrested for homicide. It said, I knew you'd end up here, little nigga, right where you belong. It's the petty for me. Ghost, how you sending shame from the grave, bro? Now, before the end of the episode, Monet goes back to accept Dante's help because sis is tired. Tariq dropping them bombs on her has left her head spinning, and she is over it. But at the very end of the episode, we see Lorenz Sr. out and strutting his Fendi fit. Just when you thought you were about to pivot and find freedom, Monet, you'll pull right back in with the war on the horizon, because Lorenzo ain't going back down from Mecca, and he might not be keen on letting you up out of this marriage either, sis. Alright, y'all, that is my full breakdown of episode 5 from season 2, Power Book 2 Ghost. It was an utterly incredible episode. Now it's your turn. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. What was your favorite scene? What was your favorite line? What are you looking forward to most? Episode 6 will premiere in 2 weeks on January 9th, and you know we will be right here breaking it down as soon as it premieres. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss any of my Power Book 2 Ghost videos. I have a few coming in these next 2 weeks while we don't have a new episode, because there's some stuff that happened in this one that we got to talk about. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.